It's the Non-Essential Rabbit Hole podcast. Josh Sharrow, Sean Doyle, Hairball John, all here on what feels like day 407 of the quarantine.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, I am less than enthusiastic right now.
Yeah, well, I think everybody is, actually.
Yeah.
What do you think caused that?
I think it's being cooped up indoors and just being stupid weather outside.
Right.
So I think that even if we didn't have to deal with this stay at home, I think we would be fed up with it being winter.
Yep.
Friends of mine posted on Facebook yesterday, like the quarantine was much easier to deal with when it was 60 and sunny outside.
Right.
I guess that's probably true, because we haven't had sun here in Michigan. I don't know what feels like 4 or 5 days.
Well, we've had sun. It's just been
Cold.
in the low 30s with wind, so you can't even enjoy it.
Yeah, the wind is what's killer.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
Why do we choose? Sometimes when it would snow outside, like, and it'd snow sideways and hit you in the face, I just tell my wife, we choose to live here. Like, we
I
can
know.
live anywhere we want in the world.
We're
We chose
Michiganders. We're supposed to be proud of this.
this. We're resilient.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was to tell anybody that was looking to move to Michigan from a warmer weather, I would suggest you don't move here in August.
Right. Those snowbirds really have the right idea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're here. They're here for the nice times, and then when it starts to get just a little shitty, they're like, okay, we're done.
We're
now.
time
gonna
to go.
down south.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my weather app here, and it's showing that we're not even going to have mid-50s until the 28th.
Oh, come on.
Beautiful.
What? You have the weather app on your phone, or are you still like in the old school where you got one of those displays and you run the little cord outside the window?
No, I've got one on my phone.
You do?
Yeah, and it's funny. I actually have 3 on my phone because if I don't like one, I go to the other.
Just to get the right information?
Yeah, and unfortunately, they all pretty much say the same.
Yeah. So no mid-50s until the 28th here
That's
in
what I'm
Michigan.
seeing. Yeah, I'm seeing that next week it's... What are we? What date is it? I don't even know what date it is. 17th? Yeah, I'm seeing next
17th,
week
yeah.
it's all going to be low to high 40s, just barely touching 50. You go into that week of the 27th and you hit 55. We actually supposedly, I mean, and look at how many days out that is. That's 12 days. That's ridiculous in Michigan.
Right.
It has nothing to do with it's the social distancing is more accurate than the weather in Michigan.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're right there.
There's a story that I did find this morning, and it talks about talk of infection rates, lockdown, and overwhelming pressure on health service has a new planet in an eerie state thanks to the coronavirus. But the majority of the towns in the UK right now could provide the perfect setting for a zombie outbreak. And if you think about applying that to Michigan, like, it is kind of eerie when you drive down like Bay Road at 8 o'clock at night and there's 2 cars on the whole road.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yep. Yep.
I went and ran errands yesterday afternoon, so I had a couple things I needed to drop off to clients. I needed to go to the studio, UPS. So my daughter drove me, and she even made a comment about there's very few people that are out on the road.
And she really hasn't been out much, right?
No, and it was really good to get her out and driving yesterday because it's definitely sitting in. She has an introverted element like I do, where she doesn't mind so much being by herself, and she's got lots of things to entertain her. But you could see it yesterday, and she's like, "This, I'm trying to deal with my own stuff too," and you kind of lose track of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, they're in the house, especially a teenager. They're around so much that you kind of think that they have the adult mentality of, well, this is the way it is, and we just kind of have to suck it up and go through it. When in reality, this is brand new, and they want to see their friends and get out. And
Yeah.
I actually think school being canceled was a huge disappointment to most kids.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too.
I don't think they realized it at first. I think at first they're like, yeah, all right, no school. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, oh.
Well, we have a friend named Chris, and his son, this was his senior year, and he's a big baseball player. He's actually has a scholarship to Mott, I believe. And that was the biggest bummer for him, with school being canceled, because he wanted to add to his average. It was going to be his senior year. He wanted to get more home runs under his belt. I don't really know if he cared about the school part, but his girlfriend bought 2 prom dresses because they were going to go to Glenn's and Garber.
Well, that means
So-
he's a stuck-up bitch, though. You could have wore the same one twice. Nobody would have saw it.
I don't.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta think from school that said, for the most part right now, it's not even you're getting your grade that you had when school closed. It's going to be pass-fail. You're getting credit or no credit. And,
Yeah.
and it says that your transcripts will be basically it's like Barry Bonds on steroids. He got the record, but there's an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
So your transcripts are going to have this little note that says it was shortened due to COVID-19. And yeah, it's going to come into play with kids that are going for academic elements. But you have, just like Sean's talking about, these kids on scholarships that are looking to, or wanting scholarships, they're looking for their stats and for being able to show what they can do. And that's not there. They don't.
Right.
Those teams don't care about the fact that you got a credit in science.
Mm-hmm.
They want to
You know
know.
what, though? I think that's going to be adjusted over time, though. I mean, like, it's not just certain kids that are athletics that are having that trouble. Every student in America is going to have that same little mark. So I think it's going to be adjusted. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Academically, it is going to be adjusted, but you can't go back and adjust skill level with athletes.
Right.
A lot of these kids, they come into their own in their senior year. I mean, that's a big growth year for a lot of these kids. And so when that comes into play, coaches aren't going to look at it and go, you know what, he was pretty good at the end of his junior year, but I didn't see him play. But you know what, I bet he got better.
Right.
They're not doing that shit.
No. That's like going off a guess.
Has your school, John, has your daughter's school released their online learning plan yet?
Yeah, it'll start on Monday. So you've got and it says for high schoolers, it's going to be anywhere from 120 minutes to 210 minutes. And, you have, I just looked at it this morning. So on Mondays, you have math and science. And on Tuesdays, you have social studies and English. I guess when that first came out, she goes to Bay City Central. And I'll tell you what, I like the principal there. Marciniak is one hell of a great principal, and he's good at communicating. The kids respect him. The parents really like him. So something came out from the district. I think it was on Wednesday, and it was some type of an email. And it had to be 3 hours later, Marciniak did a phone call. It was one of those recorded calls to all the parents. And there must have been something in that email that confused or upset parents, because he started the whole message off, okay, so for just a second, let's all take a deep breath. We're going to work through this. So he must have just been inundated with what the hell questions.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and she's only been.
Go ahead.
She's only been reached out to by one teacher. If I could pitch a bitch, it'd be the fact that she hasn't heard from a counselor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I would think they would be the first ones to get a hold of these kids, because she's trying for dual enrollment. She needs to be able to, and she's looking to get back to the career center. There's a lot here that is up in the air that you would think that those counselors don't have to have an academic schedule to be able to reach out to the kids. So that actually kind of, if anybody listened from Bay City Public Schools, which they're not, that kind of pisses me off.
Yeah. The thing that kind of gets me agitated is you talked earlier about the kids also kind of dealing with their own issues during this process, right? So they're confused. They're having issues. I made my kid cry yesterday. I mean, it's all up there, right?
Josh was pissy all friggin' day yesterday. This COVID-19's getting to him.
I'm all locked up. But so what the problem is in my brain is, these points aren't going to matter. This isn't fucking Whose Line Is It Anyways, where the game's made up and the points don't matter.
Ding,
That's
ding.
what I feel like we're doing here.
Ding, ding.
Here's a bunch of schoolwork. You got to do your homework. You got to check in on Google Classroom. And this is all just to keep you fresh for 2021. That's kind of bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And that's probably a super unpopular opinion. And that's what we really should have named this podcast, is The Unpopular Opinion, because we've got a lot of them here. But
Start a night
you
one.
You have those schools that are going year round that are not going to their grade point averages aren't going to be affected.
Mm-hmm.
They're not losing an entire semester. So, and I have teachers, really close teacher friends in California, that their spring break didn't start until last week or the week before, and the kids were going to school. They turned out to be out for 2 weeks, and as soon as spring break was over, those teachers were back online working with those kids. So really all they got was 2, maybe 3 weeks total. Actually 2 extra once you take out spring break total. And they're going to have, you can't tell me that they're not going to have an academic increase or chances based against schools that are doing credit, no credit, because those kids are going to get grades.
The kids,
Yeah.
the kids that have
That
done
school,
the
they're going
online
year
stuff?
round.
Oh yeah,
The kids that are going year round and that haven't missed a whole lot of school, and it hasn't been canceled now. Now they're truly back online doing all of their assignments. I don't know. Maybe they're doing it as looking at it because not everybody. You can't guarantee that everybody has access. Plus, you're doing online stuff, and just Google it. You're done with your homework in 12 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, it's a difficult
Man,
process.
where was this shit when I was in school?
It's a difficult process for me to think about because they've got this stuff going on right now, and then the online classes, it doesn't count. You're not having a grade on it. It's not being graded. It's just
Right.
completed or not completed, and it doesn't quite affect how you operate in the future. It doesn't affect
Right.
your next year's grade. So for me, it's like, sure, he can go access it. I hope he doesn't listen to this, but he can go online and join the meetings and do what he can. But I'm going to fucking stress about math homework during this process.
No, and you know what? That's the one subject that we're not either. She's done for high school. And she's looking for something to be able to do sometime in college that does not require math.
Broadcasting
Yeah.
doesn't
great.
require math.
All right,
Yeah,
we got to take
because there's no income.
We got to take a quick break here, which we've never done before. But hold on one second. We'll be right back. And we're back.
And we're back.
You know what that sounds like on the internet? That when they listen to the podcast, it's going to say, all right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're back.
Yeah,
That's good.
right. As if we had an actual sponsor.
I know. We got no sponsor.
About the school thing. This Kentucky, they go all year, don't they? Like they go September, October, November, off December, January, February, March, off April.
Well, there's a lot of schools that have the balanced school year, which...
Sorry about
fuck was that?
We might have to echo that out.
Was that a sneeze?
It was a sneeze. I tried covering my mouth and nose at the same time, and I went...
That was disgusting.
Pressure's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, so the balanced school calendar is a concept. But, like, for me, it's like, man, these kids are already dealing with their own things. You know what I mean? And then, like, they're just trying to provide some sort of normalcy to them. But and I understand that. I understand the normalcy, and I understand that they need to continue their skills.
Right.
But, like, we're not stressing out about math homework. No. We're not going to do that. No. We're not going to stress about, I got an hour's worth of homework to do tomorrow that doesn't fucking matter for the next day. Like, it is what it is. Like, he can go, he can attend, he can get what he can get out of it, and then that's pretty much good enough for me.
Right.
And you would have a better shot at making that happen because he could possibly, he wouldn't totally understand the fact that he doesn't have to do it at the age he is. Not totally. But you get into the high school years, and they're like, hey, I know this. You're not pulling any wool over my eyes. I know this.
Well, and I tend to agree with them. Like, that's the problem that I have with it, is it doesn't matter. It does matter, right? There's a part of it that matters for the kids continuing education so that they'll be up to 7th grade. But if these assholes come back in 7th grade or the next year and they decide we're opening the 2021 school year and your kid needs to be up to date with all these benchmarks that the state's given us,
right?
No, that's
this is why fall is actually going to kind of suck too, because it did say that they recognize that not all kids are going to have access and be able to do this. And so as a result, when school opens back up, really what you've learned in the time between now and what would be truly the end of school is going to be retaught.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be spending, the first 3-4 weeks just kind of going, oh, I know this is cake, which might be kind of cool, But I think there's definitely going to be, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's a super complicated process, and of course, like all the other parents are like, "Oh, okay," and I'm like, "I ain't fucking doing this shit."
yeah, right.
I think you're just looking for structure. You're looking for something that says from this time to this time you're doing this, and then from this time to this time you're doing this, instead of it just being a free for all. We're all kind of looking for that, to be honest with you. It's just that we have a better capability of making that happen and not falling back on crutches.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, and it'll probably get, after this is all said and done, it'll be a test of your parenting skills, and they'll call CPS on all the kids who didn't do anything, and
right. Somebody's
gonna knock at the door.
It does. I hope it opens in fall. to be honest with you, if they're laying out social distancing and going, okay, you know what, we're going to go to gatherings of 10 possibly in, let's say, a month.
Right.
And then after that,